when shall we three meet again in thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be there in the set of the sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Gormalkin!
At our call!
Anon! Fair is foul, and foul is fair! Hover upon fog and filthy air!
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hearty soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broilers thou hast reached.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonwald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of currans and gallowglasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned coral smiling showed like a rebel score. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage to the faceless slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, a worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gins his reflection, of shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break, so from that spring whence comfort seems to come. Discomfort swells, mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping currents to trust their heels. But the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captain, Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, so they hear the line. If I say sooth, I must of course they were. As cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in briefing runes, or memorize another gogol that I do not know. But I am faint, my guess is correct.
So well thy words become thee as thy wound, they smack of honor both. Go get an surgeon! Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
That case looks through his eyes. So should he look. He seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, left and proof, confronted him with self-comparisons. Point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now, Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition. We deign him burial of his men till he disbursed it to St. Colm's inch, $10,000 to our good use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth,
I'll see it done.
what he hath lost. Noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine, sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched, and munched, and munched. Give me, quoth I, a bright thee, witch! The rump-headed running cried, her husband to Aleppo gone. Master of Tiger, Instead I'll tether sail, like a rat without a tail. I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art one,
And I another.
and I myself have all the other. In the ports that pay below, and in the quarters that they know, it's shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak and time. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
A pilot's thumb. Correct his homework. Did he come?
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the tongs wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
My foes are called the Fours.
What are these?
So withered, so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it. Live you, or are you at that man-made question? You seem to understand. Nature once heard shoppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are you fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favor nor your hate.
Hail, hail, hail.
Lesser than Macbeth, but greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
All hail Banquo and Macbeth.
Stay, you perfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know that I am Thane of Cawdor. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman. To be king stands out within the prospect of belief. No more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you know this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. What seemed corporal melted his breath into the wind. Would they have stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have beaten on the insane root that takes their recent imprisonment?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And the Thane of Cawdor too. Why it not so?
For the self-same tune and words.
Who's that? The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. Silenced with that, and viewing o'er the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, thick as hail, came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises and his kingdom's great defenses, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not to pay thee.
For an earnest of greater honor, he bade me from him, call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which case, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
He who was Thane lives yet, but heavy judgment bears upon that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he conspired in his country's wrack, I know not. But treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your opinions. Do you not hope that your children shall become kings, when those that gave the fate of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That, trusted home, might yet enkindle you into the crown, besides Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us in honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
2 truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why has it given me earnest of success commencing the truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid images doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought whose murder yet is but fantastical shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look, our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir?
New honors come upon him, and like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs to the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chance, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
His execution done on Cawdor. Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoken with one who saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's harness, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became of him, my liege. He died as one who had been studied in his death. To throw away the dearest thing he owned is for a careless trifle.
There is no art in the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude, even now, was heavy on me. Thou art so far before the swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hast less deserved that the portion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due, and more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part to receive our duties, and our duties are to serve your throne and state children and servants, which do what they should by doing everything safe for your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I've begun to plant thee, and will continue to plant thee until you are full grown. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. There's thy brother. O plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen's fangs, and yous whose places are the nearest. Know we will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, who we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must, not unaccompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is used for labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself a harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
O worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland! That is a step on which I must fall down or else or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let light not see my black and deep desires. The eye winketh the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Come, let's after him, to whose care has gone before us to bid us welcome.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood rapt in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time with, Hail, King that shalt be! This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose in the dews of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Gone thou art, and Cawdor, and thou shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst strongly win. Thus to have great blooms, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art about to say, is not thy master with thee? The word so, with the form for preparation.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows, barely dead for breath, who, at the speed of him, said he could barely make up his message.
Give him 10 minutes. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tended mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, chock full of direst cruelty. And kick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the affected it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait of nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pull thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great clowns, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future is in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And one goes hence.
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my thing, is a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. You shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, where to all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
And we look up clear, to alter favor ever is to fear, and all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-hunting martlet, does approve by his loved mansionary, that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor point of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreate cradle. Where they most breed and haunt, I've observed, the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we think as love. Herein I teach you how to bid God heal us for your pains, and thank us for your troubles.
All our services, in every point twice done and then done double. For poor and single business to contend against these honors, deep and broad for which your majesty holds our house. For those of the old and late dignities he left them, we rest them.
Where is the thing of Calder? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose of being his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as a spur, hath helped him home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
All your servants ever have dared for themselves and what is theirs, and helped to make their audit at the time of pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand, and conduct me to my host. We love him highly, and will continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could tremble of the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in most cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door. Not bear the knife myself. Besides, Duncan hath borne so meek in his faculties, hath been so clear in great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed, upon the sightless corridors of the air, shall do the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself infant. Hath now, what news?
It is almost up. Why have you left the tomb?
Hath he asked for me?
Will you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He has honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which we be worn now in the newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love, or thou appeared to be the same in thy own active valor as thou art in desire. Would thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, in the coward in thine own esteem, but if I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the image.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man, who dare durst more to none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do a thing in your man, would be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. Nor time nor place did then appear, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness does unmake you. I have given so, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail, we
We
cannot.
fail. And screw your courage to this place will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, and two rabbit officers, our journey is strongly protected. His two chamberlains will I with wine and loss was so convinced that memory, the warder of the grange, will be tomb and the receipt of reason from Limbeck only. And when in their swinish sleep, their French natures are in the death, what cannot you and I perform upon the regarded Duncan? What not put upon their two spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great cloud?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal shall compose nothing but males. It will not be received when we have marked the blood of the sleeping two of their own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done it.
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon us?
I am settled, and bent of each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fair show. False face, less high with the false heart, doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes at 12.
I take it is later, sir.
Oh, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their cannons are all out. Take me that too. Heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts, that nature gives way to repose. Who's there? A friend! What, sir? Are you at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond, he greets your wife in the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Our servant became the will to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All is well. I dreamt last night of the 3 wearied sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. But when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good oppose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go bid thy mistress. When my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible as feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, worse worth all the rest. And on thy blade of the dungeon, doubts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. The bloody business thus informs this to mine eyes. Now, over the 1/2 world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtain's sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder alarmed by his sentinel. The wolf, who houses watch thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides, moves towards his design like a ghost. How sure and firm set earth. Hear my steps for which way they walk, for fear they prey to my very whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of the deed, too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. That which hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace. 'Twas the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman that gives the sternest good night. He is about it, and the sleepy grooms do mock their charge with snores. I've drunk their possets, that death and nature do contend about them whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it.
I've done the deed. Did thou stop your noise?
Did the owl scream and the crickets cry? Did thou not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
I.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald.
Oh, this is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and the other cried, murder! They then did wake themselves. I stood there and heard them. Then they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There were two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and the other, Amen. As I stood there with these hangman hands, listening their fear, I could not say Amen where they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not say Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways. way so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep!" The innocent sleep. Sleep that meets up the raveled sleep of care. The death of each day's life, sword labor as bath. Balm hurts minds. Nature's great second course. Chief nourisher life's feast.
What do you mean?
But still they cried, "Sleep no more!" to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and the cottage shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy thane, you do unbend your noble straight to think so gracefully of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why have you brought the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think of what I've done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If you do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with blood, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are these? Ha! They pluck up mine eyes. Will Neptune's great ocean wash this blood clean from my hands? No. This my hand will rather than multitudinous seas of carbon. Make it the color of red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to our hearts so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, were best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Why, here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hell's Gate, he should have the old turn in the key. Knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Why, he is a farmer who hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins about you, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there on the other double thing? Why, he's an equivocator who could swear in both scales against either scales, who committed treason enough for God's sake, but cannot equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, who's there? Why, here's an English tailor who come hither for stealing out of a French nose. Oh, come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, never end quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for ale. I'll double port no further. I represent some of our professions, the primrose way for everlasting bonfire. Hang on, hang on. I pray you remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we're carousing until the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of free things.
What free things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, sleep, nose painting, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. Well, it provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink could be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It sets him on and sets him off. It makes him and it mars him. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink did hit the lie last night.
That it did, sir. It the very throat on me, but I persuaded him from the lie. And I think being too strong for him. Take on my legs at one point, you know, I made a shit to ghost.
Is that Master stirring? My knocking has awoken him. Here he comes. Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thing?
Not yet.
He did command me to call time now. I've almost slept the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today? He does. He did appoint so. The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, strange screams of death, prophesying with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched through the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored to the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake. 'Twas a rough night. My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it. Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee! What's the matter? Confusion hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple, and stole thence the life of the building. What is it you say? The life? You mean his majesty? Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with the new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo! Shake up this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business of such a hideous trunk that calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo! Banquo! Our royal master is murdered!
Woe, alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but an hour before this chance, I would have lived a blessed life. From this moment, there was nothing serious in mortality. All is notorious. Renowned grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere leaves is left this fault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, that fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped. Your royal father's murdered. Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seems. Their hands and faces were badged with blood, as were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury. That I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, furious, loyal, and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the palsy. Reason. Here lays Duncan, his silver skin graced with his golden blood, and his gashes look like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers steeped in the colors of their trade, their very daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make lust known?
Help me, Hans. Oh!
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this heart for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hidden in auger hole, may rush and seize us? But let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. When we have our naked frailties hid that suffer exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so will I. So all. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet together in the hall. Well intended.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. Showing unfelt sorrows in office the false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortunes will keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The near in blood, the near bloody.
This murderous shafted shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty in leave-taking and shipped away. There's warrant in that theft that steals us so there's no mercy left.
With all the elements of nature follow suit, King Duncan's murder starts reactions brand and leaves the princes shaking in their boots. Because they flee the land, they raise some doubt about their role in Duncan's sad demise, and now the great Macbeth will take the throne and place the crown upon his brow for size. But brave Macduff decides to go to fight
ignoring our new king's request of him. To miss a coronation such as this could spell disaster for the likes of him.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor Glams, all as the wearied sisters promised, and I fear thou'st placed most foully for. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. There come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on they made good, may they not be mine oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
Were he forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast of all things unbecoming.
Tonight we'll hold a solemn supper, sir, and I request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to which my duties are within in this valuable time, forever and ever.
We should have asked for your great advice, which hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we will take tomorrow. Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
So far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Goes not my horse the better. I must become the bar of the night for a dark hour of twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse. Adieu, do you return at night. Best Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses sure and swift of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves to supper time alone. Whiles then, keep a word. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without escape.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and under him my genius is rebuked. He chid the weird sisters when they first put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they held him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrested within a lineal hand. No son of mine succeeded. And championed me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was Banquo in times past, but told you so under fortune.
You made it known to us.
So I did. Which is now a point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, I mean.
Both of you. No Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute is being thrust against my nearest of life. And I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will about it. Yet I must not. For there are certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. Thence it is that I to your sisters do make love, masking the business from the common eye, for saunter weighty reasons.
Shall, my lord, do it with nor
your spirit shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spot at the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight, and somewhere from the palace. Always thought that I require a priest, and with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. His son, Fleance, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight, Abide with them. It is concluded, thy Spanko's soul flight, if it finds heaven, must find it out tonight.
Spanko gone from court.
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his meeting. For a few words.
Madam, I will.
Naught is had, all spent, or a desire is got without content. 'Tis better to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them you think on. Things without resolution, things without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll be herself, and open us that our poor mouse remains in danger of her former chief. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds receive. Ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with death, whom we to gain our peace have set to peace, than on the torture of the mind that lies in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy. Nothing can touch him further.
Come on, says my lord. Sleep over your rugged cloaks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. So I pray be you. Let your remembrance abide at banquet. Present him eminence, both of eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lay these honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces visage to our hearts, disguising what they truly are.
You must leave this.
How full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife! Thou knowest that Banquo in his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. Thou art assailable. Then thou be jumping. There shall be done indeed a dreadful news.
To be done.
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf at the tender eye of beautiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear the pieces of that great bond, which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the chrome makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, or night's black ages do their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at me, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong in yourself, my dear. So prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
We need not our mistrust, for he provides us our offices and delivers us to the direction just.
Then stand with us, for the west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveler pace, and to gain the timely end, near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light here!
Then 'tis he, and the rest that are within the note of expectation. Already are I at court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, but he does usually from hence thy palace gate make it their walk.
A light, a light!
'Tis he! Stand to it!
Shall be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly! 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 Thou mayst repent!
Who did strike out the light?
Was not the way.
There is but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our fare.
Let's away and see what has been done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, a hearty welcome.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess will keep her state when at best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here, I'll sit in the midst, be large in mirth. I'll drink a measure the table round.
Please, Your Majesty.
There's blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's.
It's better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
Yes, my lord. His throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance is escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I'd also been perfect, whole as marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now, I'm cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into my saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenchant gashes on his head, to least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There, the ground serpent lies, the worm that's fled hath nature, that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. We'll hear ourselves again tomorrow.
My royal lord, we do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not out of mouth. While tis a making, tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence the soft meat of ceremony. Meeting were fair with them.
Sweet remembrancer, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on them.
Please, Your Majesty. Sit.
Here have we now our country's honor roofed, where the graced person of our Banquo present, who I may rather challenge for unkindness than pity from his chance.
It is his absence, sir. Please it, Your Highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Who's the seat reserved, sir?
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves His Majesty?
Which one of you have done this?
What, my lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well.
I pray you sit down. My lord is often thus and hath been from his youth. Sit. If the fit is momentary, upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him, extend his passions. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I, and a bold one, that dare might look on that which might uphold the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to truth here would well become a woman's story and witch's fire, authorized by Grandam.
Prithee, see there, look, behold. Lo, how say you? Why? What care I? If thou cannot, speak too!
What, quite a man in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame.
The time has been that, when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now, they rise again with 20 mortal murderers on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My royal lord, your worthy friends do lack you.
I do forget. Forgive me, my worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the table, and to our dear friend Bank, whom we miss. Would he were here! To all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sense! Thy blood is mirrorless, thy blood is cold! But the earth hide thee! Thou hast no speculation in those eyes, but thou dost glare with!
Think of this, good friends, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I dare? Approach thou like a rugged Russian bear, the iron rhinoceros, the Hyrcan tiger. Take any shape but that! My firm nerve shall never tremble. Or cast me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, protest me the baby of a girl! Unreal mockery hence! Horrible shadow hence! Why so? Being gone, I'm a man again.
You have displaced the mirth and broke the good meaning with most admired disorder.
Can such things be that overcomes like a summer's cloud without her special warmth? You make me strange in the disposition that I own, which I shall think that you can behold in such sense. Keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine are blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. At once, good night. Stand not upon the honor of your going. Go at once.
Good night. And may better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Thy stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Agnes and understood relations have by magpies and choughs. And rooks brought forth the secret smell of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Duncan denies the person that I bring bidding?
Did you send for me, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. Tomorrow I will, the times I will, to the weird sisters. More they shall speak for I am bent to know by worse means worse. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I'm in blood, stepped in so far that, should I wait no more, returning, or as tedious as go over. Strange things I have in head to hand, which must be acted, ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come. Go to sleep. Find strange and self-abuses the initiate fear that once hard use. We are yet, but no indeed.
Why? How now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason? Bellums as you are, saucy and overbold. How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. Make amends now, get thee gone, and at the pit of Acheron meet the moon. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I'm for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop found. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that, distilled by magic sights, shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall squirm and Scorn, death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and peace. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, I am called. A little spirit sea sits in a foggy cloud and stays from me.
Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again.
They say that blood will have blood. Oh, 'tis true. And if you pose a threat, he'll get you too. Macbeth takes care of enemies in need. He's leaving children fatherless indeed.
For Donovan and Macbeth fled their home, and Felance walked away, alone he roams. Macduff, we know, has left his home of birth, in order to recruit allies of worth.
Now Malcolm's gone to England seeking aid, whom pious Edward hath received with grace.
Northumberland's own warlike seaward too, Macduff hath sought for Scotland's land so true, in order to defeat the tyrant king, and bring forgotten peace to quell the sting.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig lied.
Hark your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poison entrail thrown, posed under cold stone, days and nights at 31. Clutching at him sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake, into the cauldron boil and bake. Eyes newt and tail of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, and a fork and gliding string, lizard's leg and howlet's wing. Sword, a powerful trouble, like a hell rock, boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, which is mummy, maw, and gulf. Of the rabid salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark. Liver of glass beavers too, gall of goat and slips of yew. Slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. Finger of birth strangled babe, titch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab, and thereto a tiger's children, for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baron's blood, then the charm is firm and good. Oh, well done, I commend your pains, and everyone shall share the gains. Round about the cauldron sing like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you bring. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do?
Deed
without name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. However you come to know it, answer me!
Speak,
the man will answer.
Could you rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters?
Call him. Let me see him.
Or in Sal's blood when I'm feral hath eaten, grease that sweating from murderous gibbet, throw into the flame! Come I alone, myself and office deathly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power!
He hears thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough.
Whatever thou art for thy good caution. Thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
Do not be commanded! Here is another more potent than the first. Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Had I but 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? And yet to make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate, thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
You lie in metal, proud and take no care, whose shapes, who frets, who where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until the great Burnham wood to hide Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound roots. Oh, sweet bodements! Good. Rebellious, dead. Rise never like the wood of Burnham rise. And our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature and pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet, my heart throbs to know one thing more. Tell me, if thou can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in his kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and eternal curse fall on you. Let me know!
Show his eyes and breathe his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! For thy crown to sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thy other gold-brown brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy heads! Why do you show me this? Another yet. A fourth. Start! Eyes! What? With a line stretched out to the crack of doom? Another yet! A seventh! I see no more. And yet an eighth appears before me who shows me many more. And some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Oh, horrible sight! Now it is true, for thy blood bolter Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his! What? Is this so? Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in, without them.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not bog you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected beyond the air where they ride, and damned them that trust them. I heard the galloping of a horse. Who was it came by?
Just 2 or 3, my lord. They bring word. Macduff has fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time now anticipates my dread slows. Their bloody purpose never is overtook, unless the deed go with it. From this very moment, the first things of my heart shall be the first things of my hand. And to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, to give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No more boasting like a fool! This deed I'll do for this purpose cool. But no more sights! Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our fears do not, our actions do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. The wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love, as little is the wisdom, where his flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further. But cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. From when we hold rumor, from what we fear, yet not know what we fear. Float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Father, he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much fool. If I were to stay, it would be my disgrace and your displeasure. I take my leave of you.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
That's what I get, and so do they.
Poor birds. Thou'st never feared the net, nor lime, the pitfall or the gin.
Why should I, mother? The birds, they're not sick for. My father's not dead for all you're saying.
Aye, he is dead. And how will that do for a father?
How will you do for a husband?
Why, I do not need plenty at any market.
We'll find the selling again.
Thou speaks with all thy wit. Yet, in faith, good enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor?
Aye, he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
To be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools. They are liars and swearers who beat the honest men and hang up them.
Oh, God help thee, poor monkey. How wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you would be. If he were not, it were a good sign I would soon have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not known unto you, though in your suit of honor I am perfect. I doubt danger does approach you nearly. If you'll take a homely woman's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. To frighten you, thus methinks I am too savage. To do worse unto you would be fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide here no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now that I'm in this earth world, and to do harm is unlaudable, good but dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up such womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified for such as thou mayst find him.
He is a traitor.
Now let us go say you
No! What? Come forward, quickly!
Just kill me, mother! Run away and pray you!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there leave our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast our mortal sword, and like good men, bestride our downfall toward him. Each new morn, new widow's howl, new orphan's cry, and new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it fell with Scotland, and yelled out like so little dollar.
What I believe I'll wail, when I know believe, and when I can redress, as I shall find time to, friend, I will. Would you have spoken maybe so perchance? This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongue, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. You've not touched you yet. I am young, but some people may deserve of him through me. And wisdom to offer a weak, poor, innocent land to his unhappy God.
I have not, Chris.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though bright as fell. All things foul must wear the brows of grace, and grace bestows them.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why that rawness left you wife and child? Those powerful knots of love, those strong motives without leave taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Lead, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases sure. For goodness dare not check thee. Were thou thy wrongs, the titles of fear. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkst, for the whole space in the tyrant's grasp, and rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps and bleeds, and each day and gashes at its wounds. I think withal I'd have hands uplifted on my right, as here from gracious England I've offered a goodly thousands. But, for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's hand or wear upon my sword, my poor country will have more vices than it had before, more suffering sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem as a lamb be prepared with my confineless arms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can there be a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name, but piercing no bottom none in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your maids and matrons cannot fill up the cistern of my lust, and all continent impediments would have prepared that to impose my will. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of many happy thrones, the fall of many kings. However, do not fear to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem full. Time you may speak. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you as to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate itself, finding its own plot.
With this, in my most ill-composed affection, there grows such a stanchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desires, jewels, and this other's house. And my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, forging quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer-seeming lust. But do not fear. Scotland hath foisons to fill up the will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces' weight.
But I have none. The kingdom embraces such as justice, verity, temperance, lowliness, bounty, perseverance, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the several divisions of each crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of Concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, and confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland! Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak, for I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shall thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of the throne by his own interdiction stands accursed and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee was oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above, deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself in thy direction. Here unspeak mine own detraction, abjured the taints and blames I laid upon myself as strangers to my nation. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely coveted with what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow and delight no less in truth than life. In my first false speaking was this upon myself, and I am truly thine my poor pincher's command. Whither indeed before thy here approach, Seward and 10,000 warlike men were already at a point setting forth. Now together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are we silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things. It is hard to reconcile. See who comes here.
My countryman, but ere that
I am her gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
Oh, I know him now. Good God, times we need to make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave. Where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is as scarce as for who. And good men's lives expire before the farmers in their caps. Dying or are they sickened?
A relation too nice and too true.
What's the news, Grief?
That of an hour's age doth miss the speaker. Each minute seems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant hath not battered at the peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not thrifty with your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witness the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now's the time of help. Your eye in Scotland with great soldiers. Make our women fight, doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort we are coming thither. Gracious England and let us seaward and 10,000 warlike men. An older and better soldier none the Christian one gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with delight. I have words that would be held out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or be it a fee brief?
What
does it pertain to me?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not for me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, for they will hear the heaviest sound ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner whereon the query of these murderers dare to have the death of you.
Merciful heaven! What man? Ne'er pull your hat down upon your brow, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the overfought heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I've said.
Be comforted. Let us make medicine for my great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all! What? All my pretty chickens in the dam at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel as a man. I cannot but remember the things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on who would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee, not I am. Not for their own demerits, but for mine. Heaven fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I can play the woman with mine eyes, and the braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all the intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him, and if he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready and our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long, and never finds the day.
There's two nights watch with you, but can't receive no truth from their report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, unlock her closet, throw on her nightgown, take forth paper, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature. For to say that once the benefit to sleep and do the effects of watching, in this slumber agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what did we tell you about her receive?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
Wait to me. Until most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. William, here she comes. This is her very guise, and, upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
Can she know that light?
Why, stood by her. There is light from her continually. 'Tis her command.
What is it she does now? How she rubs her eyes?
It is an accustomed action for her to see thus wash her hands. I have known her to continue in this quarter of an hour. Yet, here's a spot.
She speaks.
Oh, damn spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Why then, it's time to do it. Hell is murky. Fireman, fire. Soldier interfered. What need interfere? He knows it. And none can put power to account. Yet, who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him? Thing who I had a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. We marvel for this stuff.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has known what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known. Oh, there's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
What to say is then? The heart is sorely charged.
I have not the heart in my bosom for the dignity of my whole body.
Well.
Pray God of peace, sir.
Best diseases beyond my practice. That I have known those which walked in their sleep would die wholly in their bed.
To bed. I tell you yet again, vanquished spirit, he cannot come out and brave.
And so?
To bed, to bed! I hear knocking at the gate. Come. To bed, to bed.
But she go now to bed.
Directly.
All whisperings of God. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds their death thoughts will discharge their secrets. Nor get she the divine in the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove her the means of all annoyance. Keep eyes upon her. My maid she is naked, and amazed my sight. I think but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The time has come to march against Scotland's throne, attempt to overthrow the tyrant there. Prince Malcolm leads the English forces on, toward Birnam Wood, Macbeth they dare. Many Scottish youths will join their ranks, to purge the country of disease within. Macbeth, the pestilential spreader dank. Let's hope the rebel forces soon will win.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly, all, till Birnam Wood removed to Dunsinane. I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall ever have power upon thee. Then fly, false things, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sad with doubt, nor shake with fear. Satan! I'm sick at heart when I behold See, I say! This push will ever cheer me or deceit me now. I've lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sere, the yellow leaf, and all that should accompany old age. As honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead. Curses, not loud but deep, mouth on with breath, which the poor heart would fain deny, and dare not see!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked! Send out more horses! Stir the country round! Hang all those that talk of fear! I cannot taint fear. And she shall be cured of that. Thou hast not ministered to a mind diseased. Pluck from the memory of rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain with some sweet, oblivious antidote. Cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff that weighs upon the heart. I'll have none of it. I'll have none. Or will I not? Cast the water from my land, find your disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I shall applaud thee to the very echo that shall applaud again. What rhubarb, senna, purgative drug would scour these English hence? I hearst thou not of them, but bring it after me. I am not, and I will not be afraid of death in vain. Till Burnham Wood come toward Dunsinane.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand and Chambers will be safe.
We doubted nothing. What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham. Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery ere and report post.
It shall be done.
We learn no more, but that the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting down before it.
It is his main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, with more and less have given him the revolt. None certain but constrained things his hearts are absent.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issued strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners to the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here, let them lie till famine and the egg eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours? We might have met them there, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What was that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I almost forgot the taste of fear. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. My fellow pair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full of horrors, direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once staunch me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Creeps this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted the fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage. And then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
I should report that which I say I saw, but none that I do.
Well, say.
As I did stand my guard upon the hill, I looked toward Burna, and hid, and methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me enjoy your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 miles may you see it coming. I say, a moving growth.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree so thou hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till burning wood to come to Dunsinane, and now a wood come toward Dunsinane. On, and out! If this Mattia vouches disappear, there is no flying hence, nor tarrying here. I begin to be wary of the sun, and wish this state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come wreck! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take up what else remains to do, as according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight. Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear or none.
What is thy name?
Thou'st be afraid to hear it.
Nay, though it be a hotter name than any in hell.
My name is Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to my ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, the poor tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou art born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn. Brandished by man, that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is! Tyrant, show thy face! If thou be slain and with no stroke of mine,
my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still.
This way, my lord. The castle gently renders. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Was I see lives?
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air, with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crest, but I bear a charmed life. Must not yield to one a woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel who thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be that tongue that tells me so. For it hath cowed my better part of man. And to be these juggling fiends no more believe, that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ears, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee!
Then yield thee, coward, and be the show and gaze of the times. We'll have these as our rare monsters are, painted upon a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rattle's curse. Though Burnham would to come to Dunsinane, and thou oppose, being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last. Before my body, I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough! Get away! Damn you! Thou wilt let on! For my wife and children!
And with the ones we missed were safe arrived?
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man. The which no sooner his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station which he fought. Where he fought.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought up the field.
Had he his hurts
Your
before?
cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth. For them it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I had as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them a fair death. And so his knell is knolled.
It's worth more sorrow than that respect.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl. That voices speak aloud with mine, that speak the salutations in my mind. Hail, King of Scotland! Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we make ourselves even with your several loves. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. And what's more to do, which will be pledged anew at time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad who fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and fiend-like queen, who has just thought by self and violent hands took off her own life. And what needful else calls upon us by grace of grace, which we shall perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
out. So, you guys. Put a lot of effort into giving everyone here and everyone behind the scenes an opportunity to do the fun things here. So that was a very great thing. Courtesy of Tiana. Thank you so much.